It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey.
Hello, Jim. And he's a maniac on the floor. And he's dancing like he's never danced before. It's Murray.
Yo.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
This is a thing now, Murray. Get used to it.
I don't want to get used to it.
This week on the podcast, we talk about two films we saw in cinemas. Unfortunately, at the same cinema.
Hey, you saw it at my cinema.
Wah, wah. A couple streaming flicks, Open Rage, Murman Minute, The Lists, Rage or Dare, and then we start shopping online for Krampus presents so that we socially distance shop to beat down those pesky COVID numbers. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
So, we saw stuff in theaters.
Yes, we did. We saw Hillbilly Elegy. It's coming out in theaters first, and I guess it's going to be on Netflix in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Interesting news.
So, it's the story of a pretty bland and uninteresting Yale law student who comes from hillbilly roots. It shows his journey from a boy through to his improbable attendance to an Ivy League school, despite his meager beginnings. I suppose it's a story of family and how they come first no matter what in this story's world. One of the problems I have with this is the characters are either super bland or they are way over the top. Having said that, I can't say enough about the performance of Glenn Close. While this is obvious Oscar bait, it also is the performance that, for the most part, saves the movie. Close's portrayal of Mamaw makes this movie worth watching. In contrast, once again, Amy Adams proves that she is competent as an actress, but you can see the vast chasm in ability between her and Glenn Close. She really tries hard in this movie and is able to tread water with Close, but she sure can't swim with her. The movie really paints the world with broad strokes, which I suppose is an indicator of the point of view that it's being told from. But if your intention is to make these hillbillies seem more than, your typical country hick, then why use so many stereotypes? It had its characters uttering phrases like, "So Papa and Mama," or two.
Yes, the papas and the mamas.
I can't even get through it. So to Papa and Mama, not all rich people were bad, but all bad people were rich. Really? All bad people are rich? No one else?
Pretty much.
What a hick thing to say. So the question is, what did I think of the movie that has an Academy Award-worthy performance by Close, surrounded by a lot of blandness, stereotypes, and while some of the dialogue was brilliant, some of it came across as condescending and narrow-minded. On the strength of Close's performance, this bit of melodrama gets a meh.
Wow. What do you know?
Loved Glenn Close.
Motherfucking Glenn Close. You heard me. I might say this a lot, by the way. Motherfucking Glenn Close.
Yeah.
This woman is motherfucking Glenn Close brilliant.
She's awesome.
Was there anyone else in this movie?
I wish there wasn't.
If so, I didn't notice. Okay, maybe that's not true. The casting in this, I felt, was pretty perfect. Not good, not great, not even well or fine, or chitty old chap. It was perfect. Well, maybe pretty much perfect. Weakest actor in the entire cast is our potential Undoubted actress, Amy Adams. Potato discussion will now ensue. Is Amy Adams the female version of Mr. Potato?
No.
She is not the female version of Mr. Potato because he's not the male version of Mr. Potato. However, she is a potato.
Okay.
Because Mr. Mark Ruffalo is a fine thespian.
Well, we're going to talk more about her in the list later, so stay tuned. Who in the hell is Owen Astarolos?
I don't know. Tell me, Jim.
Young JD? This kid went toe-to-toe with motherfucking Glenn Close and held his own.
He was fine.
I don't care what... No, he was not fine. This kid was awesome. She did not steal anything away from him. Nothing.
The kid was good.
He was awesome.
The older version was meh.
Yeah, the older version, he was kind of meh. But the older version and the younger version could have been a boyhood situation.
Yeah, they really looked. I don't know how they found two kids that he literally could have grown up into been that guy. There's no question.
Of course. I want to see this kid everywhere. This film started out with a real uneven feel. Took a whole bit of time, but once it did and it got a hold of you, it was a very slow, but at the same time, it moved through multiple periods and times, which perhaps is why it took us time for it to fully connect to this film. But once you were there, you really are, at least in my opinion, I think you really are. Midway through, our yam-like, I'm going to use yam instead of potato, because, you can't have two potatoes. She can't be Mrs. Potato. She's not married to him. So we're going to call her Yam from now on. Midway through, Yam, like Amy Adams, in this finally started to show her chops up against the greatness of motherfucking Glenn Close and the young Mr., and I'm going to screw up his name, Astalos. Sounds almost Greek.
Astalos. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. This heavy, dramatic film with mild comedic moments takes you on a multiple montage, time jump, period piece ride through this broken and damaged Hillbilly Elegy family. It gets a motherfucking Glenn Close and perfectly casted, character-driven Mondo. Amy Adams, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to say it. We'll talk on the lists. But I think it's a given because Murray's going to give this a Mondo. I know it. Favorite line is pretty much anything out of motherfucking Glenn Close's mouth.
Yeah.
But here are a couple. I wouldn't spit on her ass if her guts were on fire. Or, the even more popular, they ain't magic because they don't have microwaves.
Yeah, she had some lines.
She was brilliant. All right, Mur.
Absolutely, she was brilliant.
Well, as usual, I couldn't disagree more with most of what you guys said.
Did you give it a Mondo?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Amy Adams is anything but a potato.
She's a yam.
Pretty much every freaking movie she's been in, she gets freaking nominated for. That's got to say something. It's not just people around her. And I personally don't see what's so great about Glenn Close.
Wow.
Yes, she's okay. She was not the star of the movie, in my opinion.
Was it Glenn Close?
She was okay. No, it was not.
Oh, it was Amy Adams?
I think she was better, but that's just again, my opinion.
Gotcha.
And it kind of says something to the fact that the supposed star of the film isn't even on the poster. The one who the story is about.
The one who wrote it?
His name isn't even on the poster's picture. It's just the two women.
Yeah,
it's
the
not
guy
him
who
at
wrote
all.
it.
It's like they don't give a crap about him at all. They could cast some nobody.
And he wrote it.
He's a potato. The guy who started as the JD or whatever, DJ, whatever the hell his name is.
JD.
He's a freaking potato.
JD.
But
You had good company with
yeah, I mean,
Amy Adams.
this is a Ron Howard movie, so obviously I'm gonna love it because I love Ron Howard movies.
Of course, even
some of the weird ones.
There you go.
The exception of maybe Solo.
That was terrible.
They just handed him that. That wasn't really his. It's like Joss Whedon, who I love, who he was just handed Justice League. It wasn't his project either. It's like, well, of course he isn't going to do a good one. But anyway,
Gabriel Basso, by the way, is the older JD.
Sure, whatever. His name isn't on the list anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought it would be a little more hillbilly. When it has hillbilly in the title, I expected more hillbilly stuff. I mean, they visited their relatives at the beginning of the movie, and the next thing you know, he's grown up and he's a lawyer. And most of it was student lawyer, whatever. Yale, yuppie, basically. All these, upper crust people and yeah, it's like it didn't. I don't think really explored their hillbilly roots enough. I don't
know. It was necessarily about the roots. I think.
Well, I expected it to kind of be. The fact that he's trying to make
had
peace.
A different expectation of.
Yeah, I thought he'd make peace with the fact that he was a hillbilly, even though he's trying to be something else. And yeah, his mother, as a nurse / drug addict, that I think was awesome. That was a great thing. But do I give it a Mondo? Very nearly. I mean, again, I thought it would be a little more hillbilly-ish.
So it wasn't what you expected. So
it wasn't quite what I expected, but it's definitely a high meh. I mean, again, Amy Adams, Ron Howard. I can never be disappointed by them.
Well, there you go. So we're all kind of in the same boat a little bit, which is going to make our discussion super easy at the lists.
Yeah, probably.
So,
Maybe. I
What
don't
do you
know.
What do you think?
Of what?
Let's get freaky.
Okay.
So, after swapping bodies with a deranged serial killer, a young girl in high school discovers she has less than 24 hours before she becomes the serial killer forever.
Wow, that sounds
Awful.
just terrible.
I know.
Well, actually, technically, it 24 hours before she ends up in his body.
Forever.
Yeah. He's still in her
It's a
body
Freaky Friday
forever.
situation.
It's exactly
but it's just
Freaky Friday.
freaky. So this is made by director-writer Christopher Landon.
Yep.
Also helps with writing from Michael Kennedy. Stars Catherine Newton, Vince Vaughn, and Alan Ruck.
It does.
And
Briefly.
I was a little surprised. Of all the Freaky Fridays, or any Freaky Friday adjacent movies, this is absolutely the best. Better than Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee, better than Freaky Friday with Jodie Foster, Shelley Long, Fred Savage, Rob Snyder,
Oh, come on,
Dudley
the Fred
Moore,
Savage one.
and on and on
mean
and
vice versa?
on. Until this version. I hated every single one of those other
Hello,
versions.
Judge Reinhold.
I know.
Whatever.
Here come the judge.
Right,
Didn't
come
I
the
say?
judge.
Didn't I say? And on and on and on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Judge Reinhold fits into the on and on. So it was good to see Vince Vaughn back as a serial killer instead of someone trying to pretend he's funny. This movie has original kills with great FX, predictable plot with tons of great one-liners, has all the token high school slasher films or high school best friend type movies. It has the blonde final girl with token black and gay friends, both of which were talented and funny. Pretty much everything about this was typical and expected, but the kills and comedy I found so infectious. Entire cast did a great job. Like I said, FX, gore, and fun were all present. In all, the film was an enjoyable slasher romp, and based on the ending, there is a possibility there may be a sequel. As the ending was dumb and had too many endings where the killer dies too many times
Like every
and
horror
comes
movie.
back, which definitely detracted from the fun that it was, and it got a little bit fucking annoying. Gets a death by wine bottle, awesome kill count with terrible ending, gore-filled slashing meh. Best line,
Yes.
it's a vagina, not an all-night drive-through, or I'll suck your dick. All of it.
That was said by a guy to another guy. By the way.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
All right. Well, this is boring because we pretty much agree. A lot of what I'm going to say, you've already said.
How is that possible?
I don't
Then you
know.
could be brief.
I will be fairly brief.
Why don't you talk a little bit more about Hillbilly Elegy?
No, I said enough about that. We all know how I felt about it. Freaky. The most entertaining of the body-swapping movies, Freaky pays homage to its obvious inspirations while still maintaining a modern feel. Freaky Friday meets Friday the 13th makes for an enjoyable hour and 42 minutes. The jokes landed for the most part. The gore was fun as well. There were some inventive kills, which Jim already mentioned. Some of them were great. Some of them felt like they were trying too hard to be original. Vince Vaughn as a teenage girl was a lot of fun, although I wish we could have gotten a little more psycho Vince Vaughn. See what I did there?
I did.
Before the transformation. Catherine Newton was also very good. Director Christopher Landon seems to have a knack for the horror comedy genre. He directed Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse and the Happy Death Day movies. And now with this, he seems to be the guy you want directing your movie if it's a horror comedy.
Yeah,
the blonde
baby.
girl in it.
Freaky was a very entertaining yet ultimately predictable movie that was about 15 minutes too long.
I don't know about that. Oh, yeah, maybe.
it was
With the
about
amount of
15
endings they
yep.
had.
Freaky was meh.
It was. But it was a fun man. I
It
kind of
was a
want.
fun- it was a fun man.
I don't say this very often. In fact, I think this may be the first time I've ever said it. I kind of want a sequel.
Yeah, why not?
I want this to be a chain, just like Happy. And if this is the guy who's bringing
This is the
Happy Death guy,
I think he probably wants.
he
a
may be
sequel.
the guy. Murray, you should see this one. You might like it.
I did see it.
Oh,
You should see it again.
No.
You might like it.
Well, I wanted to like it.
Oh
I honestly
no! Happy Death Day.
did. No, I'm talking about the Freaky.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Happy
No,
Death Day guy.
No, I've seen the 2 Death Days.
I know.
Those were good.
Okay.
I should have known by the opening titles when I discovered it was a Blumhouse movie.
Yes.
The company which is personally pretty much destroying my childhood by taking yet another movie which I loved as a kid and turning it upside down.
I like Blumhouse.
I mean, their list of recents, Fantasy Island, which they
Excellent.
wrecked
It was meh.
on me.
It was meh.
Invisible Man, which,
was
That was
rage.
that was rage.
which Jim said like the worst horror movie ever or something
yeah,
like that.
pretty much.
And the last Halloween that was made.
The last
And
one was good.
Let's not forget last year's Black Christmas.
was
Yeah,
meh.
I
Pretty sure
did-
we
I
all
did-
raged about that too.
No, it was
So,
meh.
I didn't like that.
I should have known as soon as I knew it was them that it wouldn't be that good. I mean, I really wanted to like it because it looked promising. And then also on top of that, we have like Vince Vaughn, who seems to have a knack of starring in just horrible, unnecessary remakes of original classics.
I want Vince Vaughn in more dramatic
Just
roles.
two I will come to mind. One is Delivery Man,
Yo, don't even talk
Alright,
about
yeah,
that.
just
ripped off
awful. Yeah.
Starbucks,
That one's awful.
and earlier in his career, Starsky and Hutch.
Oh god,
Yeah, that was bad.
horrible.
That was bad.
Terrible.
So yeah, I should have known better. The Blonde was fun, but I have to admit, I did enjoy Vince Vaughn as a teenage girl.
Right?
That was probably what saved it from being a rage for me.
Okay, so
Well, the
trifecta.
I guess so. So the thing is, there was some great deaths at the start of the movie, and some awesome ones at the end.
Yes.
And in between, it was all teenage angst. It might as well been a Freaky Friday movie
Yeah,
with Lindsay
it
Lohan or
was.
something. Like it just. And the thing with Vince Vaughn and the boy in the backseat just.
yeah, that was actually
just
kind of
wrong.
sexy.
It was just wrong.
Vince Vaughn making out with a boy.
Yeah, their first kiss, and it was a guy kissing a serial killer. It's like,
I actually
yeah,
love that part.
okay. But yeah, there was some very creative deaths. I'll give you that. I did enjoy seeing Alan Ruck meet his end very graphically. Because he played a real dick in this one.
The great one was the wine bottle murder. That was awesome.
That was the beginning, but
Yeah, it was
but yeah, no, it had some
super.
great deaths in it. I'll give it to you, but story wise, yeah, it was definitely a meh. Like
So it's a 3 mez, but obviously one is a almost rage man, and 2
almost a rage.
pleasant mez.
Wasn't meh. I was entertained.
Can we maybe just hold hands and skip around the table?
No.
No.
Because we don't all agree on this. Is like
Yeah. No.
a miracle of science.
No. We're gonna.
There's science
what
involved.
we can do is move on.
Okay
Yeah,
then.
let's do that.
Well, let's dance.
All right, let's dance.
Streaming, motherfucking streaming. We've been just streaming. And Bryce, what have we been doing?
Streaming.
Or did you stream some stuff? Did you just watch football on the weekend?
More football.
Football, streaming.
All right. So, what did we stream this week? We started with. Well, I started with. I don't know what you guys started with. I started with Lingering, which is
Thank God we were communicated properly.
yes,
Which has a few names.
which has a few names: Hotel Leku or Hot Lake. It's playing on Shudder as we speak. This is a story. What? Huh?
Dum dum.
Dum dum.
There you
Yes. This is a story of Yumi, who intends to drop off her sister at her dead mother's friend's hotel, but then gets entangled in the sinister happenings. I guess.
Something.
The movie looked good. The acting was okay. I found myself fairly unengaged throughout, however. All the spooky ghosts and supernatural goings-on did little for me. The jump scares weren't really scary. The maid in the hotel was fairly entertaining with her
Yes.
slightly off-kilter performance. It was quite enjoyable. The ending was okay, as I was not entirely understanding who was sitting in that chair towards the climax
Yes.
until it was really revealed. I did not hate this, but it failed to grab me for any length of time and hang on. This was close to being a rage, but the ending saved it somewhat. This was meh.
So, what I'm hearing you say from everything that you just ranted, slashed on,
Yes.
was that you did enjoy the climax.
Yes.
So you're saying you liked to climax at the movie?
I said I enjoyed this particular climax.
Okay. Just making sure I know.
But who doesn't like to climax?
Well, some movies don't make you climax, so there you go.
Fair enough.
Mommy, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost we know. Some may look at her with fright. All the kids love her so.
Going somewhere?
No, it's just the movie.
That's
It's
it.
Mommy,
That's my
the
review.
friendly ghost. Murdering crazy best friend, ghostly double whammy Korean horror.
Yeah.
Just like a bag of Korean bits and bytes, you never know what you'll pull out of an open bag of Korean horror. A little dash of random occurrences, one-eyed boy who seems to travel in dreams, and in the real world, little sister goes missing, and it seems no one, and I mean no one, at all is concerned.
Yeah.
Or that they don't seem concerned enough that normally when a kid goes missing, the whole town gets involved and they all get their bags and their sticks and they walk through no, it was kind of like, oh yeah, she's gone missing. Moving on. The cop character appears to enter the story randomly and is friends with the aunt. What? Nothing seems to be a big deal in this movie. Crazy employees dying.
It was odd.
Missing kids everywhere. Little sister disappearing. Big sis let her on that, she's solving a mystery.
I honestly said, on more than one occasion, what is going on right now?
Creepy stuff happening in the basement, but she keeps going down there for no reason. She knows her little sister's not what little kid goes down in the basement? Nobody. Okay, think about a 6-year-old girl, maybe 6, right?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. How many 6-year-old girls, even if they're curious, would go down into a creepy basement that looks like a torture chamber? None. I wouldn't even go down there.
Top of my head, I'm thinking the girl from Poltergeist, but
Nah, she wouldn't go down there.
I think
She likes to watch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some crazy stuff. This film has some great ambiance and starts out with some cool ghostly vibe, but morphs into I have no fucking clue. Is really what it's like.
Yeah.
Like the feel and the whole remote overlook hotel, including their very own version of the room 237, which happens to be room 405.
Yes.
But ultimately, there are too many holes that don't tie this tasty, ghostly murder spree into a neat package. Gets a shining wannabe Korean ghost adjacent meh. I'll forgive fresh director Yoon Yi Kyung for his misgivings, and we'll look forward to maybe his next spooky adventure.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing something else from him for sure, because it looked good, and there's definitely some brilliance sprinkled throughout, but
Yeah.
it's kind of a hodgepodge of what am I watching?
No.
How does that connect it to that? And,
He's the writer and director.
He is.
So interesting, this is his only credit.
Yep.
So apparently he did something amazing, and Shudder went, "Hey, want a chance to make this?" Right? Who was the?
I think this was. I don't think this was a Shudder original. I think it wasn't a Shudder exclusive, which means that they kind of
bought it sort of from some. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it just needed somebody to maybe edit the script a bit.
Yeah.
And obviously, the whole part when she's driving into the place with her little sister, and then she sees in the back where the head falls off the mom, and you're kind of like, whoa,
That was
this is
awesome.
going to be great.
Yeah, or that's right at the beginning, and it's like, what?
And then it was like,
But there are some great visuals. There's stuff that I'm going to remember, but overall, as I say, I was confused a lot.
But isn't...
And I don't think it was because I didn't get it. I think it genuinely just didn't make sense.
No, well, I mean, first off, there's no intensity when the little girl goes missing. missing.
Yeah.
Like none. It's kind of like,
It's just odd.
yeah, she's missing. She'll probably, she's 6. She's around.
Yeah, it's like they lost their keys. but they've got a spare set.
They've got a spare
so-
key, so, whatever. Okay, so we also got to see Never Be Done, the Richard Glenn Lett story on Amazon Prime.
Prime.
This 7-year journey chronicles the brash, once respected Canadian comedian Richard Lett, whose addiction to drugs and alcohol led him to become homeless, estranged from his daughter and community. Never Be Done is a raw look at addiction and redemption. So, interesting journey of an asshole
An
who
asshole.
almost finally dies. Almost finds redemption.
Right.
Starts out with a bit of unfocus to the doc, but as it started, our protagonist cleaned up, so it did get a little bit more focused on the doc. I was not loving the first part of the doc, but the more I reflected, the more I felt it had more to do with the asshole that was Richard Lett and was not so much about the doc itself. I think all the first 20 minutes of the movie where I was kind of like, this is kind of annoying because this guy is like the biggest fucking dick on the planet. And I remember seeing him live come through Calgary.
You've actually heard of him?
Yeah, no, he's like super. He's actually he's been in some pretty big parts and acting like on TV, Murray. So you should probably go look him up. And he's done the festivals, like the comedy circuit, for quite some time. A quite linear story as it progressed, following back through Richard's years after his sobriety to find a kinder, fatherly person on a better path. I liked the doc. I am still not a fan of Richard Lett of the way they portrayed him, or maybe the person he was. But as most of my experience was that he was a fucking asshole, consumed with calling people faggots as a laugh, and I found it hard to care for him at all because, first off, calling people faggots isn't funny. I'm glad he's clean and sober and treating his daughter and people around him better, but I still am not a big fan, and gets a pretty good redemption for an asshole Canadian doc. Meh. Glad I saw it, but I did not love it.
Well, Jim, as I watched this movie, I was wondering, why was I watching this movie? Why did the producers and director think that this was an interesting guy to follow? He's an alcoholic loser who just happens also to be a very unfunny comedian. This is not a great subject to be making a film about. I will admit that this movie gets better in the last third or so, as Richard gets a handle on his demons, but he's still a very uninteresting schmo that did not warrant his life being documented. The filmmaker was very lucky that Richard found salvation to a certain extent, or he would not have had a movie at all. I venture to say that this would never have gotten released if it wasn't for the luck of the director in the form of Richard's change in direction. There must be way more interesting stories of recovering substance abusers than this guy. And the fact that this actually got made into a feature makes me rage.
Oh, snap.
Well, if I'm reading right, Amazon Prime actually thought this was a good idea.
Why? What do you mean?
Aren't they the ones that released it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like he's an asshole, so I would want to see a movie about him anyway.
Well, there's a redemption part to it, right? Like, he's not as big of an asshole at the end of the movie.
There's got to be better
He's
redemption stories
he's still,
out there.
He's still
there
not
probably
calling
is.
people. He's not
Yeah,
calling people
yeah.
faggots anymore. But
Yeah.
he's. How should I put it?
He's a loser.
He's a loser. But to your point a little bit, this film, if they would have shown more about who Richard Lett was when he was at the top of his game, and then we showed a little bit of a decline to show him come back, then I think the movie would have been probably a little better. But you know what? To your point is that you hated him so much that you didn't care enough about him. Am I getting that sort of? Is that what you mean too?
I don't hate him. I just find him very uninteresting, and I don't know why anybody would follow him around with a camera.
There you go.
Because it was boring.
There you go.
Okay, there we have it.
There you have it.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Yam fries or tater tots? Oh, there's a big fish being reeled in. Sweet.
I think he's not believing your story.
No, I think he's completely know where I'm going to go with this. How can some people that, in my mind, are pretty much the potatoes of the acting world pick such great movies to be in? I'm pointing out specifically our friend Mark Ruffalo, Mr. Potato himself.
Not Mr. Potato.
And now the newly made Amy Adams, the yam
Oh, she's a yam.
of the acting world for the female version of it. Both of these people seem to find their way into a lot of great movies. We did the We did the Mark Ruffalo breakdown. He never did make our Undoubted.
He was close.
But he was very close.
He's very close.
And with our Amy Adams, which we'll be talking a little bit more on the lists, we've already gone through the whole list unless Bryce went back to try and change his ratings, because all she needed was a meh from all of us.
Well, we're going to be talking about this on the list.
We are going to. So, but the point I'm trying to make is how can some people who are not, in my opinion, not as talented as other great actors, still find their way to make great decisions and come to? Is it them? Is it their agents?
I think it's probably, I think their agents are giving them the right the scripts, and they're making good choices. And if you make a good, kudos to them for making good choices.
I am super happy about it.
And I would think that, let's say, an Amy Adams and a Mark Ruffalo are probably looking at scripts and turning down a lot of stuff because
they respect themselves.
They respect themselves, and they're like, I'm going to be in a good movie. And if it's not a good movie,
I don't want to be in it.
Doesn't matter what the paycheck is. They say, nah.
Okay, so
that's what I think, because, man, do they got good batting averages.
Yes, they do. So this is my point. How can we have some amazing actors? I'm calling out you, Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
I'm calling out you, Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Like, these guys are timeless actors.
In their defense, they're a little older at this point.
Yeah, but so what? You think to put their name to some of the terrible movies they've been in is just embarrassing. Like, don't go.
I believe
don't
the point
die.
is the older you get, the more you're willing to do crap just to can't keep working.
That doesn't make sense, because these guys are they're talented. They could go to any country. They could go to Korea and say, "Hey, put me in a really good Korean horror movie." Or, oh, guess what? Our buddy from Parasite, Boone's gonna come and say, "Hey, I'm Christian Slater. Can I be in your movie?" No. Oh, wait. I'm Christopher Walken. Dude, you've got a spot in our line. And it sounds like he can pick up languages, no problem. So my rage, just made it.
Sorry, what's your rage?
My rage is, why aren't more great actors picking better scripts? And why don't we have more great actors on our Undoubted list? We're just going to start piling on a bunch of potatoes and yams and I don't know, turnips. Yeah. Who's the next turnip? So okay, maybe the turnips are the babies, like the young actors, like one of the Fanning sisters.
You're taking these root vegetables way too far.
Exactly.
That's all I got this week.
All right.
Sweet rage.
Yes. My rage this week is that Glenn Close has not won an Academy Award.
What?
What the hell you say?
She was nominated for her work in The World According to Garp, where she lost to Jessica Lange in Tootsie.
Excuse me?
That was just wrong.
I'm broken.
Losing out for her role in The Big Chill to Linda Hunt in The Year of Living Dangerously.
What?
That was a close call. Probably should have won for The Natural, but was edged out by Peggy Ashcroft in A Passage to India. I can sort of accept that one.
Yeah.
Losing to Cher in Moonstruck was understandable, as being nominated for Fatal Attraction seemed like a bit of a reach.
That was a reach.
But then losing to...
But it wasn't a reach around.
Yeah. Then she lost to Jodie Foster in The Accused, That was acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, Jodie Foster nailed it.
Although Close was very good in Dangerous Liaisons.
Yeah.
She absolutely should have won as Albert Nobbs, but the Academy felt the need to give the Oscar to Meryl Streep again for The Iron Lady. I'm sorry, she deserved it in Albert
Yes,
Nobbs.
Okay, so we got one that we know for sure.
Well, I'm going to say
two. Let's
two.
go two. Yep,
She's
I'm
got
on board
two
with
for
two.
Sure.
Yep.
Then we had, as I say, Streep was good, but Close was better.
Yeah.
And while I have no problem with the Academy giving the Oscar to Olivia Colman for The Favorite, I feel Close's performance in The Wife was better.
Yep.
I'm not sure that Close's performance this year as Mamaw in Hillbilly Elegy is her most deserving performance for an Academy Award, but I do hope it finally gets her the trophy. I hope this is a year, and to be honest, I'm not sure I've seen a better performance this year. That's my rage.
It's going to be a bit of a tough one. Obviously Murray isn't as fond of Glenn Close as we are.
I didn't think she's that bad. Just I don't think she's as great as you think she is.
If her and Amy Adams both get nominated in the
will.
same category,
No,
I will
won't be.
slip my wrists.
Actually, yeah, they might be.
they might be. They might both get it for
I guess
supporting
they're both
actress.
No,
Yeah.
because no. Amy Adams is definitely going to get the main actress.
so?
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
supposed to
she's
be about
not-
him.
If
right?
they split it, but all I was saying is somehow they get nominated for the both and Amy Adams somehow wins,
happens all the time.
I'm never watching the Academy Awards again.
Okay,
Thought you
so
already decided that.
okay, no,
he did.
I never watched the Academy Awards because of this very reason. They give out
They can,
wins
they
to
can-
people who don't deserve
They
it.
can give it to Amy Adams, but not if she's in the
Against
same
Glenn
category
Close.
against Glenn Close.
Exactly.
If that happens, I'm done with them forever.
I'm already done because I don't want to go back and list every single time they've picked wrong, but it's too many times.
It's too many times.
I'll agree with you there.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Well, it's funny we're just talking about that because, we just saw a movie about hillbillies, but but
Hillbillies!
it really wasn't.
Wait, can I
So-
sing Cotton Eye Joe now?
No. So my list, minute,
Murman
this week
Minute.
is about my favorite hillbillies.
Oh,
Growing up, poor white trash like I did.
he did. Murray is a hillbilly.
I am a hillbilly. Well, except that I'm
Did you have-
also,
did you have a
I'm also
Meemaw?
half native too. So that
Sorry,
kind of
do you have a
cancels-
Meemaw?
Sort of.
Okay. Did you call her Meemaw?
No,
What'd you call her? Mammy?
grandma.
Grams?
She only helped.
Gammies?
She only helped to fund like the Métis movement in
Gammy?
Saskatchewan. but
Gammy
whatever.
Num Nums?
No, she was a very important woman.
All right.
So we got first up. He's on here more than once. Randy Quaid
He is a hillbilly.
as Russell Case in Independence Day.
Mm.
The man drinks too much, lives in an RV with his kids, and talks about getting probed by aliens.
What? Does he get probed by aliens in every one of his
That's what he
movies?
said. And his famous line, in the words of my generation, up yours, which is as hillbilly as it gets. Next up, we got one of my favorite TV dads, Michael Gross, as Burt Gummer in Tremors.
Tremors is the best.
He had a huge arsenal of weapons that could take down a small country, a country singer for a wife, and a huge,
Reba.
huge disdain for the government.
There's a box set, I think, that they
And-
have for that Tremors series.
might
Oh yeah, they
own
meant
it.
like 5 or 6 of them. I'm sure. I think he's in all of them.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And his line is, "Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastards?"
That's awesome, bro.
Next up, Mr. Quaid again,
Oh, Randy!
and my favorite Christmas movie, Cousin
Your second
Eddie.
favorite Christmas movie.
It's touch and go.
Oh, he's going to change his mind
I
now.
haven't decided yet. Griswold's poor white trash relative, who thankfully shows up in every film. In Christmas Vacation, he shows up in an RV because he
With a
sold
probe.
his house, and then he basically proceeds to dump his raw sewage down
the
the street.
sewer.
Merry Christmas! The shitter was full.
Randy
Oh, there's so many good lines in that one. Then up, we have one of our favorites, Jim Varney.
Jim
Ernest
Varney.
P. Worrell.
I love Ernest Saves
Delightfully
Christmas.
stupid in all of his films, but good-hearted and honest.
He plays Slinky Dog.
True hero. And one of his lines, I think it was in the Halloween one. How about a bumper sandwich, Booger Lips.
Booger lips.
Then we have a twofer. Nicolas Cage,
Oh,
one of
snap.
your favorites.
Oh,
as
Raising Arizona?
High McDonough and Raising
Oh
Arizona.
my God!
Nice.
Lovable ex-convenience store robber who can't seem to catch a break. Lives in a trailer in the desert, married to a lady cop, and not able to have kids. Just tried to fix it. What's wrong with that? And one of his lines is, Edwina's insides were a rocky place where my seed could find no purchase.
Oh, and the cast in that. Holly Hunter, man.
Yeah.
It was
Back
It
then?
was Coen Brothers. And he was also a hillbilly in Con Air. He was Cameron Poe.
Oh.
Basically had to take down the bad guys. And they actually called him a hillbilly. in
Con
the
Air's
movie.
not a with you?
And one of his favorite lines is, "Sorry, boss. There's only two men I trust. One of them's me. The other's not you." And rounding it out, we got to go with Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee in the Zombieland movie.
Nice.
Oh, baby.
Drives a Hummer till he gets stolen, kills zombies with hillbilly flair, and loves his Twinkies.
Is he on more? Will we get more Woody?
What do you mean? No, that's
He's done Hellbillies a few times.
Well, no, he did both movies, but
Yeah.
I'm counting on both.
Oh, okay.
And then my favorite line is, "Time to nut up or shut up."
Totally
And
Tallahassee.
another one is, "Here's the deal. I'm not easy to get along with, and I'm sensing you're a bit of a bitch."
That was a good line.
Honorable mention actually goes to Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine, who is Canadian, and Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Love that movie.
Which
Such a good
I
movie.
have not seen.
What?
Oh, you got to see it. You'll love it.
From
Oh,
the
let's watch it
trailer
tonight.
that I
It's
saw that
funny.
made me laugh my ass off. I think I need to watch it ASAP.
Oh, dude, you love
Yes.
it.
Plus,
This may be another one we all
Alan
agree
Tudyk
on.
is one of my favorites.
I'm surprised Woody didn't make it for Natural Born Killers. He was pretty hillbilly
I never
on
saw
that.
it.
So good.
It's just movies that I've seen. That's kind of how it goes.
Yes.
Anyway,
Oh,
that's all
Mur.
I got.
There's so much joy.
I try.
Okay. We got a lot to unpack here, people. Wait, don't shake your hand at me, bitch. What are you talking about? We got lots to unpack.
All right,
So
let's unpack it.
Let's unpack the first one.
There's nothing to unpack, but go ahead.
Okay, well,
Is this Denise Richards?
no, I was going to actually go with Amy Adams
Oh,
first.
okay.
Because I think, from what my memory serves, and we have it on our website, we've been waiting for this movie to come. She's, in my opinion, she's undoubted.
Yeah.
Well, you gave the
she's
movie
done.
a Mondo. So.
I gave the last one I gave him. What was her last movie? It was Just give me the last movie.
Arrival?
All right, here we go.
Was Arrival the last one?
Yeah. Oh, it
No,
was something
no.
delicious. So we have Hillbilly Elegy,
Yeah.
which is a meh for you and a mondo for me,
That would
and
be-
a
that
meh
That
for
one almost a
Murray.
Mondo.
That
for
would
me.
be elegy, but okay.
That's what I keep saying.
And then before that was Vice, which was
Right,
mondo.
Mondo,
Right,
yeah.
there you go.
So that's what I'm saying. She only needed a meh.
And she got a mess. So
Where's the applause, Mur?
as I throw up a little bit in my mouth, Amy Adams is undoubted.
Undoubted. Well, I would just like to defend her yam-filled honor by saying at least one of my vegetables made it on the undoubted list.
There you go.
And Murray couldn't be happier.
That's right.
Because this was Murray's one and only one that he's ever brought forward.
Did I bring her forward? I don't
Yes, you
remember that.
did.
You did.
You
Oh, there
did.
you go.
You brought her forward way back in probably February.
And we were waiting for
This movie.
Not this movie. We're actually
Any
waiting for
movie.
another movie, but it never came out.
When is it coming out?
I don't know.
What are we waiting for?
It's like a
Oh, Zack Snyder's Justice League?
No, it's the same movie twice.
like
That
a-
doesn't
Was it
count.
Night Bitch?
No, it's like a Rear Window
Object
ripoff.
of Beauty? Disenchanted?
Who knows?
Dear Evan Hansen? The Woman in the Window?
The Woman in the Window.
That's probably
There you
it.
go.
The
Yes.
one that we thought that.
Yes, that's the one I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And Anthony Mackie.
Heard nothing about it
Yep.
since.
All right.
Yes.
This is great. Are you going to talk about Denise Richards? You're holding your paper in front of you.
You,
Like
you
got
bring
stuff.
it on.
Bring it on,
You
bitch.
you lead these conversations.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep leading then. That's all
Yeah.
I did. Okay, so we had a bit
don't
of a
look for me
discussion.
to follow, but you can go ahead and lead.
What? You know, if I jumped off a bridge, you wouldn't jump off the bridge?
No, I wouldn't.
Would not even a little?
No.
Would you look
You
over?
can't- you can't-
Would you look over
you
the
can't
bridge to
jump
see if
off
I
a
was
bridge
okay?
a little.
Would you look over the edge just a little, just to see if I was okay?
Maybe.
Okay. So we came up with some new rules for the lists mostly because what the world we live in right now.
Yes.
Pretty much it. So we can't tell if a movie is made specifically for TV. It's not as easy to do that. So we've made a decision
unless it actually is specifically for TV,
Yeah,
which
and it'll
usually
tell
is
us.
indicated.
by made for TV or TV movie.
Yeah, so if it's a Hallmark frickin' movie, then
It's done. So we have to make a decision how many movies we watch of Denise Richards to make a decision. Now I've seen one, so I've been.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like I have literally not seen any of her last 8 movies, so she can't be on the doubted list. I'm not just going to take others' opinions to form our list.
We know, but we should see. Here's what I suggest. Because I've already watched one, but I will watch 2 more with you. Let's watch her highest rated IMDb films, and then from there we can make a decision. If both of them are rage, she goes on the list. I'm not watching all 8. We already know we don't have to do
This has got to be a project over the next couple months. I'm not going to...
Fill your Christmas?
I'm not watching 2 in 1 week, for one thing. And I'm not watching even 1 a week.
Can watch half a movie a week.
Half of one a week.
So we will have an answer, people. We're mark it on your
By
Christmas
the
calendar.
New Year.
Oh, New Year. Just kidding. Because we get time off at Christmas. This will give us more time to enjoy Denise Richards films.
I'm going to watch college football.
Okay. So by January 1st episode.
Whatever the episode after January 1st is, I will let you know whether Denise
What do you mean
Richards-
you will let
Well,
you don't own us.
Okay, well, I'll watch a
We
couple
will
and-
watch 2. We will make a decision and then we will rate them
Okay, so we're going by the highest rated.
on IMDb,
On IMDb.
which happens to be,
Let's hear them.
interestingly enough,
What are they? I can't wait.
My Adventures with Santa.
Is My Adventures with Santa really one of them?
Yeah, it's 4.8 on IMDb.
Well,
That's the
that
highest?
might as well be part of our Christmas special somehow.
Maybe it'll be.
Maybe our worst one ever. Yeah.
Maybe. And then you have a choice. It's either Money Plane, which is very recent, 2020,
Yeah.
Or-
maybe.
or The Prayer Box, which is very close to the same rating, which is still under
Okay,
5.
Who's in the prayer box?
Okay, let's talk about who's.
Let's break this down. We got some Denise Richards talk here.
All right.
This is what our listeners have been waiting for.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
of course they have. That's 100%.
Yes.
So The Prayer Box stars nobody I've ever heard of.
Okay, lay it on me. I've heard of people.
Grant Davidson as Wesley.
Never heard of them.
Denise Richards
Yeah.
as Karen.
Wonderful.
As a Karen.
She's a Karen.
Karen.
Reginald Vell Johnson.
Yeah, that's not a real
Isn't
name.
that the black guy from Family Matters?
That is the black guy from Family
it
Matters.
really?
It's a
Yeah.
real name. His
Yes.
name is Reginald Vell Johnson.
That's the one from,
All right.
from the Urkel show.
Okay, Carrie Scott.
I heard the name.
Yeah, you've seen his face. Chandler DuPont.
Okay, that's enough. Who's in Money Plane? By the way, we're not watching that one. Who's in Money
I
Plane?
want to see the Santa one.
Yeah, we're definitely,
we're definitely watching
Okay,
Santa.
so this one is the one.
All right, let's
Just
hear
so
it.
we know.
Yep.
Because it's got Adam Copeland,
That's
Okay.
it.
Kelsey Grammer,
Kelsey Grammer.
I'm in.
Thomas Jane,
I'm in.
There you go.
Denise Richards, Katrina Norman.
It's an all-star cast.
There
It's
you
an
go.
all-star cast.
It's an all-star B cast, but hey.
And you'll be happy to know that it's directed by Andrew Lawrence, and it has 4 writers.
Is that one of the Lawrence brothers?
Andrew Lawrence?
Yes, it is.
Click on him. What has he done?
I think he's one of the Lawrence
I
brothers.
what?
No, let's dig deep here.
No, we don't want any deeper.
I do.
He looks.
I think he's Matt Lawrence's brother.
He looks a little bit like.
He looks like
Oh, yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
he looks
totally know
like Brendan
him.
Fraser.
I totally know him. He was in Hawaii Five-0.
Was
There
he?
you go.
Okay, what else
Thank
has he
God
done? Has he
Maria's in
directed
here.
anything else? Come on, man. I need to know.
He's done Money Plane.
Yeah, I know that. What else has he done?
He's done 64 directorial events.
Okay, but what? Give me his
Probably all
last,
TV.
His 2 other movies.
Better Than Love,
Never heard of it.
Big Baby.
Big Baby sounds excellent. Maybe we should watch
That's the
that
cartoon
too,
one?
just as a
He's-
bonus.
Just so you know, every single one is a TV something.
There you go.
All
It's a
right.
given. We got to watch Money Plane.
Okay, Money Plane and Denise Richards'
The
Santa
Santa.
Claus movie.
And the Santa Claus. You heard it here first, folks. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Denise Richards could be on our doubted list.
I don't think so. I think these are both going to be Mondo.
I think I'll enjoy the Santa movie.
Okay, so since we're just throwing out,
We're throwing out more
we're
names.
gonna I'm gonna put Glenn Close on it,
Oh, okay.
Or
unless you've already put Glenn Close on it in your mind.
No.
I haven't seen them all.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I might have, but go ahead.
2016 is The Girl with All the Gifts, which was a Mondo.
Mondo.
I think I saw
What Happened to Monday, which was a Mondo.
Mondo.
The Wild Wedding, which was a meh, spelled Wilde.
I don't think I've seen it.
The Wife, which is Mondo.
Mondo.
Crooked House, I have not seen.
I have not seen that either.
Father Figures.
Father Figures is a rage.
There you go.
that.
Why was she in that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Remember when I raged today? That was part of the reason.
Oh, for crying out loud. Father Figures. Come on, Glenn. You could have been Undoubted.
Yes, she could have.
Oh, you silly witch.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Wah, wah. All right. That's enough of that for today.
All right, then. Okay, last time on Rage or Dare, the boys had to crawl back into the security and warmth of my comforting bag of rage. There they pulled out the worst Eddie Murphy movie ever made, which was Norbit. Did the boys like it as much as Bryce did on his last Eddie Murphy experience, or did Jim thought it was like one of the more dramatic actors when they do the comedies? This week, Bryce is forced to pull a handful of sugar-free vegan goodness from Jim's bag, or Infinite Rage bag candy choices. Let's check in and see if Eddie was sweet or sour.
Why don't you go first, baby?
I was thinking, you know what? Last time I pulled from the bag, I got Pluto Nash, and man, was it funny. I really enjoyed Pluto Nash. Can I talk about it?
Nope. You got to talk about Norbit.
Norbit. Norbit. I pose this question. How could Eddie and Charlie Murphy write this film, look at the script, and think that in any way it is funny?
I don't know.
If you're going to be racist and sexist and make fun of fat folks, then the movie better be funny. Otherwise, you just made a racist and sexist movie that makes fun of fat folks.
And is racist and sexist.
Nothing is off limits in comedy if done right.
Yes.
This was not done right. This was bad. This was a rage.
That's all you're giving it?
I'm not giving you anything more because it doesn't deserve it. This was just crap.
This is even Murray's least favorite Eddie Murphy
You know what
movie.
hurts me the most?
What? Kicks in the
Besides
nuts?
the fact that I love Eddie Murphy, not only
Yes.
does I share a birthday with him, but I think he's funny.
What?
Is this movie single-handedly took away an Oscar he was a shoo-in for. The year he was nominated for Dreamgirls, this thing came out like a week before the Oscars. Or a week before the voting ended.
And
people said not going to give him an Oscar, no freaking way. But yeah, up until that point, he was about to get his probably one and only Oscar that isn't like a lifetime achievement. And this movie screwed it up. So I don't know what the hell Eddie and his brother were thinking, but...
Well,
man,
let me tell you what I thought about this.
Yes, let's hear
sure
it.
you will.
Okay, so fat jokes aren't funny.
No.
Nope.
Not for 5 minutes, not for a whole movie. Plus, Norbit's voice is as annoying as Adam Sandler's voice is in Hubie Halloween.
Oh, I like that.
Only his accent goes in and out of levels of Norbitism through the entire movie. Sometimes he's got a Norbit voice, sometimes he doesn't have a Norbit voice, sometimes he's speaking normal, sometimes he's speaking in Norbit. It was so fucking annoying. So, really, it's as bad as having someone trying to fake an accent who can't. Plus, again, casting issues everywhere, including the 2 kid versions of Norbit and his girlfriend Kate.
I thought Eddie Murphy starred as everyone.
He wasn't
Usually
himself
does.
as a kid.
Really? I thought that was Eddie Murphy too.
No.
Oh.
And playing Chinese face is also not funny. Just racist.
Yep.
Oh, and the Chinese culture is not normally known for wailing, so I don't know where that came from.
Yep.
Interesting, though, that when Eddie does the voice of Rasputia, he sounds exactly like Donkey from Shrek, which kind of makes me think that he really can only do 3 voices.
I disagree on that. But
What? The
you can only do 3 voices?
Rasputia?
No.
Well, because he only could do 3.
Well,
he
that's
does
maybe this
Donkey,
for
which is
this movie.
Rasputia. He does Norbit, which is Adam Sandler.
He does a lot of
And then he does his own voice.
a lot of good voices.
Just watch the best of Eddie Murphy Saturday Night Live, and you'll see he
Oh,
does
yeah.
a lot of different voices.
Okay.
Or the movie you hate, Coming to America. He plays like 4 different people, 5 different people.
Yeah, that
in
was also
one.
terrible.
I
Eddie
loved
Murphy
it.
playing more characters doesn't make it funny, especially if you can't do them very well. Let's do a short recap. Overtly racist against Chinese culture. Shame, shame. Not funny. Not well acted.
Yep.
Fat jokes get old real fast. Accents are awful.
Yep.
And cross the line in talking animals. Really? Are we going to really try and go to the Norbit version of 9 Lives? Eddie Murphy should, as I've said before, comedians that aren't funny should stick to dramatic roles. And just be everyone to remember that Bowfinger, and in my opinion, Eddie Murphy's funniest movie,
Bobby Bowfinger.
did make my top 10 comedies.
Yep.
Here's the good things. Terry Crews and Kristen Schaal. Oh, and the title of the titty bar called Tittyopolis. I would go to Tittyopolis just for the name
I
alone.
couldn't believe Tandy Newton popped up in this. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
It's a rage.
It's so bad.
Not the best line, but it pretty much sums up the entire movie. How you doing? It's Respucia's line. She said it like 20 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm,
20. If she said it once, she said it 20 times.
fantastic.
Right then.
So there you have it.
Guess what you
Mission
get?
accomplished.
Guess what you have? Yeah. That'll learn you for saying that Pluto Nash was good.
Isn't that my bag?
No, this is mine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
All right.
I have mine nicely typed and printed
Oh, yeah. You went all
on
out
hard
with it.
cardstock.
Okay, so I'm plucking out of Jim's bag of...
Don't peek in there. Just
I'm not peeking. I'm just trying
Get
to
your
grab one.
all right.
I got one.
Okay. And it is upside down. It is.
Awesome.
Read it, Mur. I can't see it.
Joe Dirt.
2.
Joe Dirt.
Oh, 2. They made a second one?
I didn't know there was a sequel.
Talk about your hillbillies.
I've seen Joe
was
Dirt.
he was on the hillbilly list. I would refuse to acknowledge him.
So
Yes, he played a hillbilly too.
Is what's his head? David Spade in this as well?
know.
Yes, he is.
All right.
Of course. What
You
else
should
is
be
he
in
doing?
for a super,
What else is
super
he doing?
treat.
So there's a Joe Dirt 2.
Apparently.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Doesn't
And
sound
you're
right.
going to
Doesn't
watch
sound
it.
right, but all right.
you are going to watch it.
I hope there's a cameo from Rob Schneider.
Sure there will be. He doesn't do anything anymore either.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Hey Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, CMC, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5, $5.
Regular price, $5, $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together, gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Other than my own house, Meadows Cinemas is the safest place, as they follow all the Health Canada's requirements to ensure a safe and healthy physical distancing experience.
Well, maybe I should tag along to make sure there's an old guy a Liam Neeson movie playing.
Or even better, some independent documentaries.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a safe and socially distanced seating event, or go online at CanyonMeadowsCinemas.ca.
Sweet. CMC.
That's right. Hey Bryce, what are you doing tonight? Hey! Bryce is ending the show. That's what he's doing.
Better. Well, thanks, Rangers, for listening. Thanks to Zen Film Rage crew of Leonard Vision and Photography via Leonard Collins Photography. Listen to us on all the podcast streaming sites. You can find us pretty much everywhere. Find us at Film Rage YYC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. On our website at filmrageyyc.com. We are always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please go on social media, Apple Podcast, our website, or Podchaser, and give us feedback. Or give us more dares of films you want us to see. No matter what you do, please make us rage. Please, please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.